Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining PPR Live tonight. It is the 16th round of our championship, and tonight we are going to Sao Paulo, Brazil, to the circuit of Interlagos, a Grade 1 circuit opened in 1940. It's been host to the Brazilian Grand Prix since 1973. Looking at our standings going into this week, we have Capita Hood still maintaining his first place lead with 320 points, but followed closely behind by the Williams driver B-Dunk with 295 points. In third place, we have Chandler, followed by Borat Love Suck driving for Alpha in fourth place with 201 points. Just a 10-point gap between him and Chandler. In fifth place, we have Delirious driving for McLaren with 164 points. Muffin Man and Formula Rager, followed by Saxman, Double OT, and Bloody Ramrod round out your top 10 going into this week. As far as Constructors' Championship goes, we have Mel in first place with 379, again followed closely by the Williams F1 team, driven by B-Dunk and Bloody Ramrod. Third, we have Alfa Romeo, driven by Borat and Double OT. Fourth, we have Haas, driven by White Mike and Chandler. Fifth, we have McLaren, PPR Delirious, as well as Shadow Wolf. Sixth, Toro Rosso. Seventh, Red Bull. Eighth, Mercedes, Ferrari, and ninth. In last place, we have Racing Point. So we're all loaded up on grid. One of our drivers taking to the track. Looks like the first one out is Boss Cookie, a new driver here at PPR. I'd like to welcome him to the league. Very anxious to see what he can get done today here in Brazil. One of the most challenging tracks, in my opinion, on the calendar. As we're just going to drop the engine just a little bit here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. As we're working our way now into Sector 2. It's a very technical, sweeping uphill curves. Working our way uphill right now towards turn 8, now following down to 9. As Cookie will continue to take us around the end of Sector 2 now. Looks like he's going to try to let someone pass. Nope, as he's now going for it, charging towards the front straight. See the pit entry there on the left, pretty much on the racing line. You have to be very careful not to get into any trouble on entry to the pits if you're stopping under green flag conditions, as Cookie now dives into turn 1 for the first time on his first hot lap of the day. Working our way into DRS Zone 1, and we already have a Sector 1 yellow. Stay on board with Cookie now, working his way into turn 3, or 4 rather, at the end of Sector 1 now. Now working our way around the very late apex of turn 11 and back downhill. Just trying to get a different overlay set up for this week, but unfortunately looks like that's not going to happen, as the first time of the day to beat is a 108.4. I think Chandler should be the next to cross the line. I'm mistaken, as Borat. It's in a 108.5. Chandler's going to be coming into the pits now as Casper retires from the session somewhere in Sector 2. As B-Dunk and Sparky as well put in 108s. Cookie still has the fastest time of the day, as we're now on board with the Banana Boat of Capita Hood, starting his first hot lap of this qualifying session. And Jordan, welcome to the stream. We did not used to be called PPRL. We are newly formed just about a month ago. I think this will be our month anniversary race this week. As Cap now throws it into turn 8 and 9. Now working his way into the very late apex of turn 11. As Cap is coming up on a bit of traffic, works his way around Reimer without any issue there as he's now charging towards the start-finish line, eyes on the time board. Let's see where this Renault driver places, and it is P4 for now with a 1:08.69. Capital Hood going to be looking to improve upon that time. We'll work our way down the orders. I think Brackish just put in a 109.9. Here we have Saxman24 working his way through Sector 2 right now, about 50% of his battery used this lap on his first flyer of the day. Just about to exit Sector 2 now with a 52.65 sector time. Under the Emirates board once more, past the front grandstands, and Saxman24 with a quick bounce off the inside wall is going to cross the line with a 109.2. Puts him into P7 for now, just over 12 minutes left here in qualifying. Haas driver Chandler is now working his way into Sector 2 as well. So thankful Chandler can be out there driving today after he seriously stubbed his toe yesterday and was, just unsure if he could make it for this race. So happy to see him soldiering on as he works his way out of Sector 2 now with a 51.9, looking good so far. Teases it in for turn 13 now, working his way towards the start-finish line. Gauges DRS for the final time and crosses the line with a 108.3, but unfortunately an invalid lap. He's going to have a bit more work to do as Cookie's starting his second hot lap of the day. Just backed out of it there as looks like Borat's going for it, driving for Alfa Romeo. Working his way down the straight of DRS Zone 1, approaching turn 4. Nice and easy on the brakes there for the wide left-hander now. Sector 2 now, very easy to lose the rear end of the car around these S's as Cookie respectfully pulls off to the side. Lets Borat work his way around. Working our way past the city center in the background. Passing pit lane, Borat's going to cross the line with a 110.4. Fortunately, 2 seconds off his previous best. That's not going to do it for him, as I believe Sparky's working his way. Actually, Muffin Man about to cross the line, 2/10 up on his previous best. Muffin Man puts in a 109.2, goes up to 7th place. Reimer as well, charging towards the line, looking to improve. The Toro Rosso driver puts in a 108.888, puts Reimer up into 6th place. Very good lap for him, as we'll take a quick look at Double OT and Chandler still in the pits. Double OT might have a quali ban this week for an incident last week. I'm not Man, I can't remember what the decision was. There was so much deliberation on that incident. Took a few days to get that one sorted out, as we're on board now with the Tangerine machine of PPR. Delirious Cookie improves on his best, putting in a 108.28, best time we've seen so far today. And racing in an F1 league is way more important than football, Jordan. You can get way more ladies like this, as we're on board now with the Red Bull of Brackish, working his way out of Sector 2 right now. Actually, excuse me, working his way through Sector 2, rather. Throwing it into turn 11 at the moment. Almost a second off his previous best. Brackish is looking well to improve here at Brazil. See the telltale twitches of a controller boy desperately trying to shave tenths off his best, and he does, putting himself up into 7th place with a 108.9. Brilliant lap by Brackish, as Capita Hood looks to be coming to the line as well. Hugging the left-hand track boundaries, he's going to cross the line with a 108.6, faster, but not enough to improve. He's going to stay in P4 for the moment. As B-Dunk backs out of it, pulls into the pits. Cookie will as well. Ramrod, unfortunately, already 4 tenths off his previous best. Brackish should be on an in-lap, but still seems to have some battery left in the tank. He's going for it once more. ERS mode 5, working his way around turn 12 now. A double caution in sector 3. Hopefully it's just somebody slowing down to make some room on track. Brackish will back out of it, pull back into the pits. We will hop on board with Chandler now, who's starting his hot lap once more as Sparky pulls out in front, as well to get out of the way. As Chandler really leaning on that rev limiter through turn 4. I'd like to welcome the one and the only to coach to the stream. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Please, no pings, my friend. As Chandler's working his way around turn 11. Misses the apex by just a little bit. And takes a big chomp out of the curb of turn 12. As the wounded Haas driver puts in a 108.494, an incredible time for only having 4 toes. As Sparky's now taking another stab at it, working his way down the first DRS zone just past the pit exit. And yeah, OOT does have a quality band. Yeah, I thought he did. I just honestly couldn't remember, as it sounds like Sparky's Mercedes engine has imploded, as he's rubber banding all over the place. Thankfully, we're back and connected. Codemasters gods are shining down upon us tonight, as Sparky crosses the line with a 108.4. Puts him up into provisional 3rd place for the start of this Brazilian Grand Prix. A brilliant lap for a rubber banding Sparky. Borat working working his way around turn 4. Nothing doing there. White Mike crosses the line with a 109.6, improves, but unfortunately does not gain any positions. He's followed by the Ferrari driver, Indian Cyclone, subbing in for... Oh, snap. No, he just changed his gamer tag. Excuse me, it's regular old Cyclone, back to his Indian roots, I suppose. Working his way around Sector 2. The teammate of King Kirk 67 here, as Borat Loves Suck, apparently something was doing, puts in a 108.016 and into provisional pole with just over 3 minutes left in quali here in Brazil. Indian Cyclone now working his way out of Sector 2, unfortunately already a quarter of a second slower than his previous best. Ramrod put in a 109.5, again improved, but not enough to gain any positions. According to the Rager, looks to be almost 3/10 up off his previous best. He's in 13th right now. Working his way past the apartment complex there in the background. Charging past the grandstands into the final DRS zone and charges into the pits. If you're creative enough, you can definitely make a really exciting overtake happen on pit entry. If you're creative enough, as everybody's going to wait to come out on track for the final time. Looks like Chandler's setting up a hot lap. Kirk is on an out lap. Ramrod is on a Sunday drive. See if Cyclone can improve. And to coach I would, but that's like 3 hours of commentating for if it gets saucy. As it looks like Cyclone's unfortunately not going to be able to improve this lap. Looks like the Ferrari driver will be starting P16 for this Grand Prix. As Double OT continues to hang out with the grid girls in the pits. Cookie's trying to dethrone first place Borat Loves Suck. As so far we've had a pretty incident-free qualifying session, as we now have all of our drivers coming out to the track. Hopefully it will remain that way. Chandler's finishing his presumably final hot lap of this qualifying session. We'll see if he's able to improve on his Pirelli soft tires. Dashes across the pit entry and across the line with a 108.3, puts him up into provisional third place. See if any of our other drivers can do something about that, as it looks like Cookie's going to be out of battery. I don't think he's going to be able to improve once more. B-Dunk, excuse me, is starting his final hot lap. So we have a caution in Sector 2. Thankfully quickly went away. Hopefully there's someone just moving it out of the way. One of the Rager might have just had an incident. Unfortunately, he's going to be out of this quali session as Reimer crosses the line. 0.6 up, but unfortunately does not improve. B-Dunk should be crossing the line right behind Chandler. They both cross the line. B-Dunk goes P2 with a 108.2. Sparky about to cross the line, followed by Capital Hood. Sparky now passing the pit entry. Sparky improves, but unfortunately does not gain any positions. Capital Hood moves up into P6 with a 108.5. Brackish pulls back into the pits. Kirk working his way around. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to improve either, as Delirious was definitely going to improve, but We won't say anything about that. Nobody saw anything there. Oh, jeez. Muffin Man's ready to race. I think that was contact with Cap. I believe so. Hopefully that was just some shenaniganry, as that was some pretty heavy contact. But that will do it for qualifying here at PPR Division 1. I'd like to thank you all for joining us tonight. If not already, please subscribe to the stream. Also be sure to check out our Twitter over at twitter.com/PPR, I believe. Or no, PPR Esports. As we take a look at our final time board running into qualifying, Borat takes pole by 0.2. Brilliant showing by Alpha. Followed by B-Dunk, the new boss cookie, driving for Racing Point, looking to get them some points in third. Chandler's in fourth, Sparky's in fifth. And we're going to have Double OT starting from the back of the pack. We're going to have our eyes on him, see what he can do. Last to question mark challenge. As our drivers will be doing a little rain dance in the pits to hopefully keep the rain away this race. Thankfully, it looks like these skies are pretty clear today. Thankfully, will not be an issue at the first part of this race. PPR historically has some of the sauciest turn one lap ones that we've seen this season. They're certainly exciting to commentate, but not so exciting to steward for. I'd like to welcome Henchman21 to the stream. Shout out for hanging out and watching the whole Division 2 stream, which you can watch after you get done watching this if you missed it before, as now all of our Grand Prix are immediately uploaded to YouTube after the fact for all of your replay enjoyment and incident report making goodness. As we wait for our drivers to set their final strategies for the day. Just YouTube auto mod is freaking out. Sure what? Who could get offended by that comment? But it's 2019, so anything goes. Quick look at our schedule moving forwards. We are missing, of course, our newly formed PC divisions. Graphic, unfortunately, but moving forward into season 1.4, I guess we should call it. Here you can see Xbox Division 1 and Division 2. You could pause that if needed, followed by Division 3 Xbox leagues, as well as our PC Division 1. As we finally load in here, all our drivers take their grid starts as Borat Loves Suck will lead us around for the formation lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Presented by your friends, of course, as always, at PPR. Also, shout out Funky Cactus, who I finally have figured out is Funky Cactus. Got some of our greatest Division 3 drivers in here at the moment. Shout out to all you guys. Appreciate you making PPR what it is. As we have a little bit of excitement in the back of the field there. A little puff of dirt. Not sure what happened there. As our drivers continue to work temperature into their tires. Take one more look through the field. Good to see Racing Point back on the grid up in the second row. Unfortunately, young Cheddar could not be here tonight. He's at a Weezer concert or something like that. As we see Saxman hooning it around turn 11. Oh man, look at this steady cam. Bodies, why can't you do this more often? Brilliant. As we see these three waiting for the rest of the field, Borat is almost back to the grid. As we're just moments away from the start of the Division 1 Grand Prix. Oh, and shout out to Ronan, the winner of our Division 2 Grand Prix tonight. Had a brilliant battle with Girthquake all race long. And any drivers who finished that race did very well to keep their noses clean, as we saw a whole lot of contact and incidents in that race. Exciting as always. If you haven't seen it, I highly suggest you go check it out. As Borat finally pulls to his starting position, all eyes will be on the lights. We'll see how many we get today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're out and we're racing. All our drivers put the pedal to the floor. Looks like McLaren's already pushing the limits in the back. Not sure what that cameraman's doing, looking at the wall as Borat and B-Dunk are already wheel to wheel. Big contact in the back. Looks like Capita Hood went around, followed by a whole bunch of other drivers, unfortunately. Doesn't look like too heavy damage was sustained by anybody as Borat and B-Dunk are going wheel to wheel in turn 4. Borat tries to throw an over-under on B-Dunk to defend, still side to side coming out of 5. Both these drivers now charging towards Sector 2, followed closely behind by the Racing Point of Boss Cookie. B-Dunk has the position for now, but Borat's still trying to make something creative happen. Unfortunately, don't think he's going to get it done as Sparky unfortunately loses a spot. Saxman passes Reimer, who seems to be struggling. Now under attack by both Formula Rager and Capita Hood. Our interval board is not updating. That seems to be the problem here. As we have Capita Hood diving under the Toro Red Bull of Formula Rager there. We see Ramrod passing OOT for P16 as that will complete the first lap here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. B-Dunk has taken the lead from Borat, but Borat is back on the attack. B-Dunk defends to the inside, Borat looking to the outside. These drivers are wheel-to-wheel going into turn 1, both even on the brakes. Millimeters from each other there as Borat should be able to take position 1 back from the Williams of B-Dunk. During all that drama, Boss passed Chandler for P3 in the background. As we see the rest of our field come into view at the top of the frame. B-Dunk now relegated down to P2 as Capita Hood passes Dior Reimer going into turn 4. Later on the brakes, the Renault driver is up to P9. Looks like Reimer is trying to take a stab back, but unfortunately could not make anything happen and now runs very wide. Allows Formula Rager to work his way up into 10th place, as well as Casper trying to make a move as well. Both these drivers still wheel-to-wheel through Sector 2. We see Indian Cyclone battling White Mike there in the background as Caspita takes the position away from Reimer's Cyclone. Continues to hold White Mike and OOT back as it looks like OOT made a big mistake there, unfortunately. Got a little bit into the dirt. As we'll now see if B-Dunk can take a stab back at Borat. Puts in the fastest lap of the race, 1:12.3. Expect those times to drop as we progress through the day. B-Dunk unable to make anything happen yet. Starting to look in his mirrors nervously at the fast approaching Racing Point of Boss Cookie. Less than 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds separating the first 7 competitors here. Quite a train as we work our way through Sector 2. Sparky's on engine mode infinity, giving it everything he's got. B-Dunk continues to follow Borat around. Quite a bit of mayhem lap 1, but things start to settle themselves out now. Don't know what that phrase means, but we're going with it as DRS should be enabled now. So we see B-Dunk enable it there. Borat, B-Dunk, ooh, Chandler, nope, Saxman with the fastest lap with a 1:11.6. B-Dunk unfortunately could not close the gap to Borat going into turn 1. Looks like Borat ran a little bit wide coming into 2. Go for the wide angle here coming into 4. See if anybody's trying to make a move. Nothing doing yet as Caspita passes his teammate Delirious into turn 4. White Mike just half a second off the pace of Indian Cyclone. We're going to keep our eyes on them. Looks like Kirk and Reimer were unfortunately the victims of that early lap 1 contact, as B-Dunk now looks to be very close to the rear end of the Alpha of Borat. Working our way around turn 12 now once more. Gonna hop on board Boss Cookie's point of view. These drivers really getting stacked up now, working our way through the first 3 turns. Borat brings the train over to the inside of the track. Sparky never wavers. True Iceman. So we have a double caution in Sector 3. I just saw it for a second. Unfortunately, it looks like it's King Kirk 67 lost it approaching the final straight. You hate to see it. Back to the action though with Boss Cookie trying to find a way around B-Dunk. As Kirk pulls into the pits and unfortunately retires from the session. That will do it for his half of Team Ferrari. We have a double caution in Sector 1. Excuse the quick spam through the cameras, as unfortunately I could not determine who it was. As our leaders cross the start-finish line once more, Borat continues to lead. Gonna hop on board with Cookie once more, see if we can figure out where this mystery double caution is on the track, as we're just about to finish Sector 1 now, just 5 turns. As we now have double caution in Sector 2 as well. I don't see anything in all of Sector 1. This Muffin Man's trying to find his way around Capita Hood for 7th place. Have the ghost of Reimer's past throwing his hat into the mix. Double OT and Brackish battling for P14. Brackish is going to come out ahead going into turn 8. Where the Rager works his way around Delirious into the points. B-Dunk now looking to make a move on Borat. Goes to the inside. Creeps up to the side pod of Borat, but cannot make the pass stick. Brilliant defense there from the Alfa Romeo driver as B-Dunk goes for it once more, looking to the outside. Still wheel-to-wheel going through 4. As Borat continues to defend with everything he's got. Seeing some absolutely brilliant driving between these two competitors. Chandler now putting the pressure on Boss Cookie for P3. Sparky also still right in the mix of things. And I hear you, Kirk. There's a reason I commentate, bud. As B-Dunk continues to chase Borat, now working our way onto the 8th lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Williams driver engages DRS once more. Borat defends to the outside line. B-Dunk tries to establish passing position, throws his hat in a little bit late. Gets involved with Borat's left rear just a little bit, but both drivers able to recover. Borat defends to the outside now of turn 4, carries a lot of momentum on B-Dunk. A little bit of contact once more as B-Dunk had a wiggle to correct, but did well to regain control. All this battling has allowed the racing point of Cookie now to really apply the pressure to B-Dunk for P3. I'll take a quick peek at the Renault of Capita Hood trying to find his way around Saxman 24. And if you guys miss any of the action like this, as Saxman 24 goes very wide, Capita Hood hits the brakes mid-turn, scrubs the front end, almost loses it. Both drivers do very well not to get into each other there. But as I was saying, if you miss any of the action, as we're streaming on YouTube now, you can just simply rewind the slider and go back to catch up on whatever you missed. As nothing is doing with our leaders right now. A little bit of a lockup from Boss Cookie into entry of turn 1. Caspita passes Muffin Man for P8 in the same place. Saxman picks up a 3-second time penalty defending against Capita Hood. Take a look at that battle now approaching turn 4. Ghost of Reimer's past still right there. Really got to be throwing these drivers off their marks just a bit. It's something I really struggle with in Sims. As Caspita is trying to find his way around Muffin Man back for P8, looking to the inside, approaching Sector 2, cannot make it stick. White Mike works his way around Indian Cyclone, going into turn 4 for P12. Gets it done without any issue as the Haas is trying to find his way into the points as well to join his teammate. Unfortunately, he picks up a 3-second time penalty on his charge. Caspita establishes passing position to the right side of Muffin Man, but Muffin Man got a great run out of turn 11. Excuse me, as Caspita passed him. They're still going to battle and go wheel to wheel, approaching start finish line. Muffin Man back up into P8. Caspita right behind, but Muffin Man with the help of DRS will be able to defend. Not much that he's going to be able to do there. Capita Hood still attacking Saxman 24 for P6. Muffin Man picks up a 3-second time penalty defending against Caspita. Now Capita looking to the inside of Saxman 24 going into turn 4, wheel to wheel. Cap runs Sax very wide, still wheel to wheel approaching turn 6 now, working our way into Sector 2. Capita Hood much later on the brakes, little bit of a bump there from Saxman 24 from behind. Muffin Man has retired from the session, lost it coming out of turn 5. Battling with Caspita. I'm not sure if there was any contact there. We'll see if we see anything in incident reports. Thankfully, Muffin Man streams on Twitch. Go check out his channel if you're interested. Give him your condolences. So hopefully we'll be able to see his point of view post-race. As Capita Hood is up into P6. The top 5 remain the same. Gonna pour one out for Muffin Man and Kirk real quick. That was... You hate to see it, you know? You just hate to see it. Yo, YouTube Auto Mod, chill out. Show all the curse words. Relax. Anyways, as we're still figuring out streaming on YouTube, but as our first 5 continue to follow themselves around, it's pretty much now a race to see who can stay out longest. Caspita up 9 spots so far. I'm trying to see how old. Got everybody on 10-lap old soft tires, so at this point some of our drivers are really going to be starting to struggle for grip. Expect to see some pit changes soon. Formula Rager started on hards. It's a very interesting strategy. We're going to keep our eye on him, see where he finishes at the end of the day. As our leaders continue to stay out. Capita Hood trying to catch up to the suck train. Led by the suck master himself, Borat. Working his way into DRS Zone 1, continues to lead the field. And I don't think that Formula Rager had any stops, if I'm not mistaken. He did not. He started on those hards as Brackish passes White Mike for P11. Going into turn 1. White Mike with the help of DRS trying to fire back at the Toro Rosso. Unable to make anything happen there. Going into 4, a little bit of oversteer there as we can see White Mike's tires starting to fall off at this point. Something we would expect from our leaders at any moment now as Delirious picks up a 3-second time penalty. Just over a second and a half separating the top 5 drivers here at Division 1 PPR. As we now see some of our leaders pitting, notably in the forms of B-Dunk, Chandler, and Sparky. All do very well not to get any speeding penalties there on entry, as this is one of the trickiest pit entries in the season. Boss picks up a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately, working his way through turn 1 as his tires are starting to fall off. Expect to see Borat and Boss come into the pits this lap. As Formula Rager and B-Dunk are right next to each other coming out of the pits. B-Dunk moves up into P6 on fresh, soft tires. Chandler picks up a 3-second time penalty for going wide around 5. Struggling to get temperature into those fresh mediums. We'll take a quick peek at Borat, see if he's going to come into the pits this lap. If he does, I would expect Boss to follow, and he decides to stay out. And there we have Boss coming in as Borat puts in the fastest lap of the race on some very old soft tires. See where Boss comes out of the pits. Should be pretty close to B-Dunk, as we see B-Dunk going by there. See Boss just on the left side of the frame there. Oh, looks like Boss might have contacted the pit exit wall there. I'm not sure if he got any damage to his wing on exit, but not the kind of mistake you need at the halfway point of your Grand Prix, as Spark is still within 0.2 of Boss's pace. In that pit change, it looks like Chandler moved up his spot, as Borat still gets a pit. Stays out once more. He's probably going to try to make these. He's going for the soft to mediums as he puts in another fastest lap of the race. Caspin and Saxman are battling for P3, approaching the start-finish line. Borat picks up a 3-second time penalty, really starting to struggle with those tires. Saxman's pulling into the pits for some fresh Pirellis as well. Sparky now really pressuring Cookie for P7. Works his way up the inside with a lot more speed into turn 1. As we have a caution in sector 2. Not sure if it was for Borat, but Spark picked up a 3-second time penalty as well there. As once more we have Saxman exiting the pits right next to Brackish, White Mike. As Saxman's able to pick up the position. See if White Mike has anything left in those tires to fire back at Saxman. Unfortunately, I can already see that he's struggling for grip as he works his way through sector 2. Very important part of this track. Very easy to lose a lot of time here. As we now see Borat and Capita Hood finally coming into the pits. Borat opting for those medium tires, as we can clearly see there from Codemaster's brilliant display. As we try to get a view of the race to turn 4. Looks like Borat's going to come out in front of B-Dunk. The undercut did not work as Borat's going to stay out front. Capital Hood's going to come out right in front of Red Bull of Formula Rager. White Mike continuing to battle with Saxman 24 for P9. Takes a quick look on approach to turn 4, but decides it's wiser not to try anything too exciting. As we have Brackish and Boss Cookie in the pits now for some fresh tires. Muffin Man has left the session. As we now have a bit of time separating our field now, I can take a breath of relief. Almost at the halfway point of the Brazilian Grand Prix here in Interlagos. Caspita now pulls into the pits. I think pretty much the final driver still out on the original softs. I'd like to welcome PPR Nick to the stream. Shout out to one of the best Division 2 commentators we got. Man, Borat loves Suck also out there. You know, he commentates, he races in D1, dominates the field. Man can do it all. Some sources say that he's known to wear neon G-string from time to time too, as Saxman24 passes Caspita V12 for P8. This driver is going to continue to battle going into Sector 2. So we have a double caution in Sector 2 and 3. Might have been for the Renault of Capita Hood, as it looks like Formula Rager worked his way up into 5th. Cap could have locked up the championship with a win today, but I'm not sure that that's going to happen at this rate. Oh, as we see Saxman throwing it up the inside of Delirious into turn 1. Forces Delirious very wide as Saxman questionably gains P7. He's now under attack by the other Tangerine machine of Caspita V12. Oh, looks like Saxman turned in quite aggressively on the McLaren driver and then very dangerously rejoins the track. As Indian Cyclone pulls into the pits. Another double caution in Sector 2. And once more a phantom double caution at that. B-Dunk and Chandler continue to chase down Borat. Sparky has unfortunately fallen off about 4 seconds compared to their pace. Although back here in 7th place, it looks like we have the battle between McLaren and Toro Rosso really heating up. A little bit of team orders there as Delirious allows his teammate by. A little wiggle of his wheel there. He's questioning where that understeer was coming from that he was dealing with last turn that almost took out his teammate. That was pretty close. As we might see him coming back into the pits. I'm not sure if he sustained any damage on the contact in turn 1 that last lap. But just the fact that he's losing so much time to his teammate tells me something's not right with his car. As Caspa engages DRS, Saxman got a very poor run out of the final corner. Help of DRS, Caspit is going to work his way up into P7. As we see White Mike pulling into the pits now to get some fresh tires. We'll hop on board with B-Dunk continuing to chase down Borat Loves Suck. B-Dunk is going to make a move. It's got to be in the next couple of laps. He's really got to put those soft tires to use before they start falling off. If not, I assume we'll see some friendship orders between him and Chandler. As B-Dunk's still just a little bit too far back to make a move. Looks like Capital Hood's going to try to make his way around the inside of Formula Rager going on to the 21st lap. With the help of DRS, he seals the deal before the braking zone of turn 1. Capital Hood back up into P5 for Renault. I'm not quite sure what happened to Boss Cookie, but he's lost a lot of time after all those pit changes. He's all the way back down in 10th place, just battling to stay in the points at this point. As White Mike's trying to apply the pressure. Snowball 19 has joined? Bruh, get out. There we go. I think he's listening to the stream. Anyways, B-Dunk's still about a half second off the pace of Borat Loves Suck. Looks like Boss might have a run on Delirious though. Delirious defends to the inside. He defends so hard to the inside that he comes into the pits. Brilliant strategy by Delirious. Never seen anything like it. As we'll see if White Mike can set anything up on Indian Cyclone. Looks like he's still pretty far back, still within DRS zone, but DRS range rather, but not enough to make something happen, unfortunately. As White Mike has closed the distance, swings to the inside of the Ferrari going into turn 4. Leaves plenty of room for Cyclone on the outside as White Mike moves up into P13 with finesse and skill. Brilliant execution there. As it looks like B-Dunk has a run on Borat going into turn 4. Borat defends to the inside once more. We're trying, Kurt. Failure to launch. As B-Dunk's still within half a second of the Alfa Romeo. OOT picks up a 5-second time penalty for speeding on entry to the pit lane. Unfortunately, that might come to play at the end. He's been having a great race so far, up 6 spots from his starting position. Looks like Delirious is trying to put those new tires to work as OOT picks up a 3-second time penalty exiting the pits. Unfortunately, that's 8 seconds on that one pit stop. Also see Formula Rager pulling into the pits as well. See if Delirious can get a run on Brackish coming out of the final corner here. Looks like he might. Brackish with a real funky line there around turn 13. You see Brackish bobbing and weaving a bit. Delirious engages DRS. Brackish defends to the inside rather. Oh, big contact there into turn 1. As Formula Rager's dead in the middle of the track. What? 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 One more time. What? Bruh. Cody's, what are you doing? Yeah, it's definitely not worthy of a safety car or anything like that. We'll see if Sparky gets taken out by Us. Thankfully, the digital stewards have cleared the issue. B-Dunk's looking to the outside of Borat going into turn 4. As I don't know what we just saw with Formula Rager. That was something else. As you see Chandler drifting around turn 10 there. Staying well within the range of the battling B-Dunk and Borat. That's a whole lot of Bs. Now working our way onto the 26th lap. Just 10 to go here at the Division 1 Brazilian Grand Prix. Oh, man. Formula Rager, I'm sorry to hear it, man. That was crazy. You should definitely submit an incident report against Codemasters. That's what I would do. Stewards, never mind those. Esports ready. Big facts. As B-Dunk tries... Nope, just going to follow Borat around once more. As a bit of time now separates the rest of our field. Looks like Brackish might be having a run at Delirious. Cookie picks up a 3-second time penalty, unfortunately. OT has his sights set on Indian Cyclone. Engages DRS in zone 3. Stays well within the slipstream of the Ferrari. Looks to the inside approaching turn 1. And OT gets it done up into P12. Very nice move from the Alpha driver. We now have Brackish putting the pressure on Delirious for P9. This week's stream is brought to you in part by Michelob Ultra. It's shitty, but it could be worse, eh? As Brackish continues to follow Delirious around, now struggling to stay within DRS range. Boss puts the moves on Saxman going into turn 4. That puts Racing Point back up into P7. Delirious and Caspita both pick up 3 seconds of time penalties for Team McLaren there, cutting corners. OT passes White Mike as well while I wasn't looking up turn 1. OT now up into 12th position. It's 2 overtakes in 1 lap for the Alpha driver. We also have a battle forming once more between the Renault of Capita Hood and Sparky. Sparky defends to the inside approaching 4. Takes another defensive move to cut off Cap's approach. Cap now right on the gearbox of Sparky. See if he can set anything up as we go on to the 29th lap here. Borat Love Suck continues to lead. B-Dunk now struggling to stay within DRS range. Don't know if he's going to get it. And it doesn't look like he does. As it looks like his softs are beginning to fall off. We'll see how hard he makes it for Chandler to pass him, as we now have Cap trying to set something up on Sparky. Sparky early defends to the inside line. Cap tries to squeeze. Oh! Oh! Oh, that was like a toiga. You're still wheel to wheel coming out of turn 3. Oh, man. Oh! Oh, man. And that's going to do it for Cap the Hood. As it looks like somehow he's not DNF'd. As he has retired from the session. Stewart's going to have a lot of work tonight. As Boss now approaches the 5th place McLaren of Casper to V12. We have a double caution in Sector 2. For who? Borat picks up another 3-second time penalty. I think that's a total of 6 so far today. Oh, it looks like Boss Cookie's in trouble coming out of the final corner. We've seen a few of our drivers having trouble there today. As I'm not too familiar with this track, it's really surprising to see so many people losing the rear end there, but I guess it's easy to get on the power too quickly there and lose it, as we're going to see Boss come into the pits very slowly for a new front wing. He's going to be retiring from this race in frustration. In a fit of Formula Rage, you could say, as Casper picks up a 3-second time penalty once more. I think he's up to 9 or 12 at this point. Brackish putting the pressure on Delirious. Also have Cyclone slowly closing. We have a double caution in Sector 1. I cannot even keep up with the amount of cautions that are being thrown right now. What happened now? As we'll ride on board with Borat through Sector 1. Try to see what the trouble is that Codemasters is detecting. And I don't think we're going to get our answer, as Borat's going to work his way around turn 4. We'll hop down on board the Red Bull of our boy ARL Brackish, trying to find his way around the drifting PPR Delirious. There's 5 laps to go till the conclusion of this Grand Prix. Has B-Dunks left the session? What? As it looks like we might have some connection issues coming into play here. Hopefully he can get back into the lobby. Judging by the fact that a random joined before, he should be able to without too much of an issue, as Delirious makes a big mistake between 2 and 3. Allows Brackish to work his way up into P7, as B-Dunk thankfully is back in the game. Cyclone and White Mike battling going into turn 1. Cody's refusing to give us a camera angle of it. With the help of DRS, Indian Cyclone works his way into P10 and into the points. Just 13 drivers left on the track at this point, as White Mike engages DRS, tries to find a way back around Indian Cyclone. Chandler passes the still ghosted B-Dunk around turn 4. As it looks like he's not ghosted now. Can't really... I think he's back in the game. As Delirious engages DRS and tries to work his way up to the back of Brackish. See if he can recover from that mistake. B-Dunk now within half a second of Chandler. Looks to the inside of the Haas going into turn 1. Help of DRS gets it done before the braking zone and is back up into P2 after his unfortunate disconnect. Delirious all over the gearbox of Brackish now, trying to find a way around the Red Bull. Oof. So Reimer was going to go for the fastest lap until he shaved his end plate off his wing, so there goes that hope as Delirious passed Brackish going into turn 1 with the help of DRS, went up the inside it looked like. Let's take a quick look at Chandler, just 2/10 off the pace of B-Dunk, now approaching DRS zone 3. Engages it there, B-Dunk moves well to the outside there. As Chandler's back up into P2. Borat has pulled a 10-second interval over P2. He might get away with his penalties. Cheeky Borat. Has B-Dunk just passed Chandler again? Going into turn 4. These two really trading blows now. Reimer has been in the pits for... Oh, he's coming back into the pits to replace his front wing, get another set of softs, and try once more for the fastest lap of the race, which won't count to his points because he's not within the top 10, as we see a huge lockup from Delirious going into turn 1. Really struggling to keep the relentless Brackish off his back. Brackish engages DRS once more, approaching turn 4. Delirious very early on the brakes there. Brackish did well not to get into the rear end of him. White Mike within half a second of the Ferrari of Indian Cyclone. Indian Cyclone looks to the left side of the track to try to break the draft. White Mike closing very quickly at this point. Just 2 to go here in Brazil. Borat continues to lead with a 10-second interval over second place B-Dunk. Now White Mike looking to the outside, approaching turn 5. Trying to make something creative happen through Sector 2. Fortunately lost a little bit of momentum there, but Indian Cyclone runs a bit wide as well, gets a real bad run out of turn 7. Anyways, back up to the battle between Brackish and Delirious. Delirious pulls into the pits. Looking to put on some soft tires and get a fastest lap of the day, but unfortunately gets a 5-second penalty on entry to the pits. Sure not to help his cause, as Brackish also picks up a time penalty. Chandler within DRS range of B-Dunk engages it there, as we're now on the last lap. See if the Haas driver has anything left in the tank to battle B-Dunk. B-Dunk's tires should be very worn at this point compared to the Haas of Chandler, but B-Dunk seems to be controlling the wear well at this point in the race. We're going to take a look at White Mike and Delirious now, battling for P10. Cyclone worked his way up into 9th after Delirious came out of the pits there. So we have a caution in Sector 2. Once again, a bit of a phantom caution there. Can't really tell who that was for. We'll go back on board with Delirious and Indian Cyclone now wheel to wheel going into 11. Indian Cyclone on the inside, Delirious on the outside, but it looks like Delirious got the position. Delirious back up into 9th, trying to set the fastest lap, but moving through this much traffic, I'm not sure it's going to happen. As Borat wins the Brazilian Grand Prix at PPR, Chandler trying to find his way around B-Dunk once more, not going to be able to make it happen before the start-finish line. Engages DRS one last time. As B-Dunk finishes P2, Chandler P3. Indian Cyclone pulled P9 away from White Mike and Delirious after all his penalties, finished P11. Sparky crosses the line in 4th, followed by Caspita. Saxman 24 is going to bring it home in 6th position. Now just waiting for the rest of our field to finish here. Saw some brilliant pieces of racing today, some great defending from Borat, some very interesting pit strategies, and a whole lot of heartbreak for our drivers who DNF'd. As Brackish and Double OT bring it home. That will do it for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Presented by your friends, as always, at PPR. We're going to go ahead and get the post-race interviews set up here in just a moment. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us tonight. Be sure to catch us same time, same place next week, as we're joined now by the race winner, Borat. Excellent drive, man. Some brilliant defensive driving from you. Let me get your thoughts on the day.
Pretty smooth race. Just first stint, I was just trying to save my tires as much as possible. Maybe try to get the guys behind me to dice it up a little bit and cause them to lose some time while I save the tires. That's why I kind of held them up until a little train for a little while, and then I was trying to save my mediums until at the beginning of the second stint, and then the back half of the stint he pushed, and I was able to gap B-Dunk, but then he disconnected. I don't know what happened, but yeah, all in all, pretty smooth. Can't complain.
Yeah, man. Well, congratulations again, as we're now joined by B-Dunk and Chandler. B-Dunk, first of all, we're going to go to you. What happened with the disconnect, man? You're having a good fight there.
I have no idea how that happened. Like, I was having a good battle with Borat, and he did take off on me because I had DRS on him, and I made a mistake in the final sector in one of the laps, so he was on the fly. But he had 6 seconds, so I knew I still had a chance at the win, and then I got disconnected. I was lucky enough to get back in the lobby as quick as I did. Otherwise, I could have lost more positions. But, I mean, besides the frustration there that I could have probably won that race, who knows? Cap DNFing, I don't know what happened to him. That's what I needed heading into Abu Dhabi to have any chance at the title fight now. So I think I'm 8 points behind him now. So, I mean, it's a lot more manageable than being... He was 5th, so it's a lot more manageable than like 20-some points. But that's what I needed heading into there. I mean, it's unfortunate to see that happen to him, but it's what I need to have a better chance at this into the season finale at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, man, right on. Well, best of luck at Abu Dhabi, and I'm sure all of us are looking forward to that race. And now to the 3rd place Chandler. Awesome battles there with B-Dunk throughout the day, man. Get your thoughts on the race.
Yeah, my pace wasn't all there. Just this track is bad tracking. I cannot get with it. Missing braking points and whatnot. So the win, I don't think, was on the cards at all. Maybe had B-Dunk not disconnected, I could have continued in his DRS. Maybe I could have at least got Borat on penalties, but that once he started pulling, that looked to be out of reach. The pace just wasn't 100% there, but another podium, and that's just what I'm looking for. Just consistent pace, and podium is definitely is consistent, so I'll take that.
Yeah, man, very good finish, and awesome driving by all of you guys for like the entire race. Just keeping it clean, keeping it professional, some awesome moves, and pleasure to commentate. So on behalf of all of us here at PPR, thank you so much for watching tonight, and be sure to join us same time, same place next week. Hope you all have a great night. Stay well.